Hello everyone, welcome back to my HCL playlist, and today we are going to see the difference between end of line and backslash n, and we will see that why using end of line can sometimes be not good for performance. So yes, let's get started. So our task, first of all, let's see what our task is. So our task is that given a string s, we have to add this string to a file, let's say 4 lakh times or 1 lakh times or 3 lakh times, whatever. So we will see that. First of all, let's just print the size of the string. This is like around 50, this has 50 length. We will see this. Yeah, so you can see that the length of the string is 50. Now what we have to do is that we have to write this string to a file 50 times, like 4 lakh times. So let's try to write this. I equal to 1, I less than equal to plus plus cout s, and we'll use backslash n. Now if I do this, write this, it will all be printed on the terminal, on the screen. So what we can do is we can redirect the cout to this output.txt file by using this freopen function. So okay, first of all, this command less than and output dot file name, less than and then followed by file name. This is going to empty your file name. Okay, this is a Linux command. You can check it if it works on your distribution of Linux. And now this cat command is basically used to print the content of this file output.txt on screen. As you can see that this file is empty now. Now let's try to run this. First compile. Okay, now we will try to time it and run. So as you can see that it took around 0.135 seconds to run this. Like, now let's verify if output.txt file has these many lines. So one thing we can do is we can open this output.txt file, but it will be a huge file like 4 lakh lines, and instead we can do something better. What we can do is we can cat this output.txt and then pipe it through wcount command. So what this will do is that this will this wcount command will read this file and it will give you the number of lines. Sorry. So here you can see that the number of lines is 4 lakhs. Now let's try to repeat the same experiment, but this time we are will be using end of line. Okay, so now let's again empty this output.txt file and then let's reconfirm. So again this cat.output.txt file is empty. Let's rerun let's recompile and time. Yeah, as you can see it took around 2.4 seconds, so it almost took around more than 20 times. So why does this happen? So this has everything to do with how data is written to disk from RAM. So let's see it. So there are two things which we need to keep in mind. The first thing is that whatever data you have in your program, whatever data you have, the code data and the variable certificate, all of them are stored in RAM. Let's write it. All the data is initially kept in RAM or main memory. Secondly, writing data to hard disk from RAM is a slow process. Okay, so writing the data from hard disk from RAM is a slow process. So these are two learnings that we need to keep in mind. And now let's try to see how end of line and backslash n differ here. So what happens is that every time, okay, let's uncomment this, and so what happens is that every time end of line is called, it flushes the data from RAM to hard disk. So let's say we have this first loop and my data would, this would be my data. It would open this file output.txt, flush the whole data to it, and then the file will be closed. But this is not what would happen in. Okay, so can you tell me the number of times the whole flushing would happen? So the number of, since end of forces the cout to get flushed, so there will be 4 lakh flushes from RAM to disk, which is a huge. And as we all know that writing data to disk from RAM is a slow process. Adding 4 lakh flushes is a bad idea. So let's write it. Flushes data from RAM to hard disk every time. Okay, and how does this backslash n differ? So this does not force RAM to like flush the data. So what happens here is that, let's say your data is in the RAM, right? So it will give instruction that, okay, let the RAM reach a certain threshold. Let's say it would reach 4 byte and or anything like that, or any predefined limit, and only after that it will flush to the disk. So the number of flushes that it will do to the disk will be much low. So doesn't force flush the data from RAM to disk. So the overall number of flushes which happen in \n is much lower than the number of flushes that happen in end of line, which is why this is so much faster. You can in fact see that it is almost 20 times faster than this one. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope this was a huge learning to all of you. So yeah, thanks a lot. Goodbye, take care, and I'll upload this video in 10 minutes.